Welcome to the Make It Make Sense series from Northwest Access Fund, where we try to make sense of complicated benefits questions. This is the Small Business Edition, where we work through questions related to owning your own business. Today, we're talking about reporting business activity for small business owners who get SSI. The information in this video applies only to SSI and not to SSDI. This is Noel. Noel receives Supplemental Security Income, or SSI. Noel also owns their own business where they make and sell zombie repellent. Noel starred in our videos about calculating net earnings from self-employment, or NESE, and about the impact of NESE on SSI payments. You may want to watch those videos before watching this one. Noel keeps track of their business expenses and business revenue. They know how to calculate their NESE, and they know how it will impact their SSI. They had a benefits planner to help them. You might want one of those too. Noel will need to report their business activity to Social Security. Let's see how to do that. There are 3 things Social Security needs to know when the business first opens. They'll need a description of the business. They'll need to know the income or projected net earnings from self-employment for the year. They'll also need to know the resources or a list of business assets. The first thing Noel needs to report is a description of their business. They just need a few key details. This should include the name of the business, a brief description of the business structure, and any co-owners. The next thing Noel needs to report is projected net earnings from self-employment. This is an estimate of the annual earnings that Noel expects to earn from their business. Noel will estimate this based on what they expect their business revenue and business expenses to be. It's okay if their estimate isn't perfect. We'll talk about that in a minute. Noel estimates that their annual NESE for their business will be $4,986.90. Social Security will adjust Noel's SSI benefit based on their projected NESE. Noel has already figured out that their SSI payment should be adjusted to $777.72 based on their projected earnings. At the beginning of the following year, when Noel files taxes for their business, they'll submit their business tax return to Social Security. Social Security will use it to reconcile Noel's SSI payments for last year. If Noel's business doesn't do as well as they expected, their NESE may be lower than the estimate they gave Social Security. In that scenario, since Noel won't have as much earnings as they thought they would, Social Security will have underpaid Noel's benefits and will owe Noel money to make up the difference. If Noel's business does better than expected, their NESE may be higher than the estimate they gave Social Security. In that scenario, since Noel will have more earnings than they thought they would, Social Security will have overpaid Noel's benefits, and Noel will owe money back to Social Security. Since your projected NESE impacts your benefits, Noel, you want your projections to be as accurate as possible. Having a good business plan can help with this, and Noel can revise their estimated NESE if they need to do that. Speaking of revising, Noel, it's really important to track and monitor your actual NESE every month. It's a good idea to compare your actual NESE to your projected NESE every month, or at least every quarter. If your actual NESE is a lot lower or a lot higher than you projected, contact Social Security and let them know. The last thing Noel needs to report is their business assets. This is important because SSI has an asset limit of $2,000. But there's an exclusion for people who own a business and have business assets. We want to make sure that Social Security knows that your business assets are not your personal assets, so that the assets don't impact your benefit eligibility. Noel has a bank account for their business that is separate from their personal bank accounts. Noel needs to report this business bank account and give a description of how it is used in the business. So, Noel's initial report to Social Security about their business will include a description of their business, projected annual NESE, and a list of business assets. Noel can report all of this at the same time by calling Social Security, going to their local Social Security office, or sending the information in by mail. Noel will have to do some ongoing reporting about their business. This will include revised NESE projections if they need to do that, revised business asset list if needed, and they'll need to submit their business tax returns. Hey Noel, it's a good idea to update your business planning at the beginning of every year and let Social Security know about any changes in NESE or business assets. Thanks for watching the Make It Make Sense series, Small Business Edition.